Hey everyone, Carmen Reese here. Family, friends, and clients. I gave you the most recent update on Good Friday, so earlier this month, and I wanted to give you another update as things are changing week by week in terms of the state of the real estate market here, hyper-locally in Austin, Texas. I also told you in the previous video that I would address the questions that you have. So I have 4 main questions that I'd like to go over and additionally give you more information as to what we are seeing here direct from the horse's mouth as real estate agents, and also the movement of buyers and sellers in the real estate market here in Austin. So you've seen in headlines and everything, spring is typically the busiest time for real estate. That spring market has been delayed, right? But that doesn't mean there isn't still a lot of selling going on, a lot of buying going on, because people's leases are coming up, people are still getting new jobs, people are still moving. Even in the midst of a pandemic, housing is an essential need. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and answer our first question. And our first question is a general broad one that I think a lot of people have, and so that's why I wanted to address this one specifically, which is, when is the economy going to recover? So that's a great question, and I can't give you a direct answer, but what we can do is we can look at the data, we can see what's going on, and the projections from economic experts as well in this area. And what we're seeing right now is not your traditional economic crisis. We're looking at a pause on the economy. Just nothing's really happening. We're all staying home, we're sheltering in place, and the very, very essential people are still working. But other than that, our nation's been closed. And of course, the governor said that we will be opening up the country piece by piece starting this week. So that should be interesting, and we'll keep you posted on that as well. But let's go ahead and look at what is going on straight from my MLS. What is going on in the Austin market? All right, y'all. So here is a look at the local Austin area MLS from a realtor standpoint. This is just the main page, but what I want you to pay attention at is this section right here. So you can see the number of new listings, so that's 788. Number of price decreases, so we have seen an increase in price decreases. Price decreases basically means that the seller has decided on a new price to list their home because they weren't getting the traction or the offers that they're looking for. So typically we're looking at, $5,000 to $10,000 decrease in price. We're also seeing some price increases as well. So 149 price increases as well. Back on market, 220. So those are homes that fell out of escrow. Maybe the person's job situation changed, right? With what we're seeing in the local economy, or maybe they need a new lending strategy. And so those homes are back on the market, or maybe even they didn't agree on repairs. And then we have 45 contingent. So a contingent meaning that I need to sell my home in order to buy my next home. Pendings, 1,066 pendings in the last 7 days. That's insane. So there's more properties that went under contract than came onto the market, showing you that, if that keeps up, that behavior keeps up, there's still going to be a shortage of inventory. And then sold properties, 622. So when you're looking at new properties on the market versus pendings versus sold, a lot of the homes that are being listed are actually selling right now, and a lot of buyers are out with the extremely low interest rate. So interest rates are lower than they've ever been. So they dropped lower than they've ever been when this whole thing started, and then they went up, and now they're low again. And so there's more buyer activity and also comfort for people leaving their homes. Withdrawn properties, a lot of people took their home off the market or are kind of waiting for things to open back up completely. But with all of this activity here, I haven't advised any of my people to take their home off the market. In fact, we've done 7 transactions this month under quarantine. Me personally, I've done 7 transactions this month. And so we're having a busy month right now, and that's just because simply buyers are out there and there are still sellers that need to sell to get to their next destination. Now, expired, temporarily off market, if the listing expires, then they either re-sign with a new realtor, or decide to wait until this passes over and then temporarily off market. Like I said, a lot of people do have those health concerns and other situations going on to where they may not want to be on the market this time, allowing people to come in their homes, et cetera, et cetera. All right, y'all. So now that we've taken a look at the local MLS and what's been going on there, let's go ahead and look at what it is that the major economists are saying when it comes to an economic recovery. I just wanted to go a little bit more in detail here from what we said towards the beginning of the month. We've got some better pinpointed numbers there as far as what the economists are predicting. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at those graphs. So this slide comes from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and this is showing our weekly unemployment filings. So this reflects, the 26 million people who are suffering from unemployment right now. There is a lot of unemployment, quite frankly. And while everyone who files does not necessarily receive unemployment, it's definitely worth saying that there are historic amounts of unemployment in the country. So the question of who is unemployed, we're getting that information for you guys in May, and we'll bring it to you as soon as we have it. There's just a whole lot of ongoing aspects of that, including a lot of that data as to who it is that's getting unemployed and what industries are impacted the most. All right, y'all, let's take a look at the 2020 unemployment rate forecast. So as you can see, JP Morgan is predicting the highest unemployment rate out of the 4 financial institutions that we have listed. That are the 4 major ones. A lot of very rich people trust these institutions with their money. So we're going to go off of the data that they have predicted as opposed to our own. And of course, there's over 8,000 economists in the country. They have their own opinions, but these guys are who most of the world is trusting the forecast with. So we're going to go with them. So I want to remind you that even at JP Morgan's high unemployment rate of 20%, unemployment, even at 20%, also means that 80% of people still have a job. And even though this unemployment rate is extremely high, it isn't expected to last very long. All right, so in this chart, this is a depth chart regarding unemployment. So as you can see across the bottom, years for unemployment rate to reach or return to the pre-crisis level. So the red line is what Goldman Sachs is projecting. The orange line is what JP Morgan is projecting. And then the yellow and gray lines are past recessions and past unemployment crises and how long it took for them to recover. So the red line, being Goldman Sachs, is projecting that, we're going to see the V type in recovery and unemployment, and that after this first year, which is going to be a sharp decline, we're going to see what is looking like a more normal rate of unemployment coming into the second year. So it's going to take a little while for us to get out of this, but of course we're seeing that sharp decline that we're expecting to come out of, not completely, but we're expecting to come out of the majority of it this year. Okay? And doesn't that make sense? I mean, as people start getting back to work, then people are going to get their jobs back. Folks that were furloughed are going to be asked to come back. And of course, our leaders of the world and our leaders of the economy want our economy to recover, and they're taking those actions to make sure that that does happen. All right, so our third question is, how has the real estate market changed nationally with all of the COVID-19 social distancing, shelter in place? How has that changed the national market? And this is very important because, of course, there's a hyper local market, but the real estate market in general, there is some spillover and some effects from what's going on nationally and what's going on in other states. So we'd like to take a look at that and look at the data that has been coming into us as well. Okay, so here we are looking at a statement from Zillow. So Zillow made a statement on April 22nd that traffic has picked up since March 22nd, so since a month ago when we were pretty much at a standstill, outpacing or remaining just a few percentage points behind 2019 levels through early April. So basically, Zillow's just saying that people are searching for homes online, which, at first seems to make a lot of sense. People are at home, they have a lot more time on their hands. Maybe they're looking at homes that they would like to live in one day, daydreaming, things of that nature. But I'd like to put this together with a couple of other interesting pieces of information as well. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so here we can see a very interesting graph from Showtime, and I've actually been showing this, the local version of this, to my home sellers to show them kind of what's been going on. So when we're looking at March, so around March 22nd, what Zillow was saying, there's a sharp decline from March 12th all the way really through mid-April, but we're starting to see that turn around. People are coming out, and these are virtual and physical showings. So we're physically seeing people coming out of their home to start looking at property. What this means for buyers is, at this April 23rd point, there's going to be less competition when it is buyers because there's less people viewing homes than there was, the same time last year. Meaning that you're not fighting over homes, you're not going into multiple offer situations as much as you would be if there was more buyer competition in the marketplace. All right, so final slide of this question will be the pending sales, and this kind of puts it all together. So we saw that showings were up, viewings are up. And now we're also seeing from Zillow on April 23rd, their statement is that pending sales are picking up. And we did see that in the hyperlocal version of this as well. Pending sales were higher than homes that came on the market. So what we're seeing is pending sales turned positive in the week of April 15th, so around the same time frame, and is up 6.2% week over week as of the 7 days ending in April 19th. So people are getting back in the market, people are buying homes, and if you want to get ahead of this delayed spring, early summer market, I'm advising people to put in offers now. When you're looking at new build homes, you're seeing that a lot of new builds are even giving incentives that they were never giving in the past few years. I've seen builders giving waiving entire closing costs, giving free hardwood floors, things that we haven't seen since a slower market in Austin, which has been quite a while, folks. So yeah, contrary to popular opinion, even in the midst of all of this tragedy that's going on, people are continuing to buy and sell real estate. Like I said, we've had one of our busiest months so far, which isn't too much of a surprise with it being the spring market, even though the spring market has been delayed in its full potential. A lot of people are, their leases are running up. A lot of families, they wait till the summer to move. So their kids are out of school. They wait till the spring to list their home in hopes to buy a home and move before August when school goes back in session. So these are buyer patterns that are continuing to happen. There's a lot of people who look at me and they're like, hey, Carmen, are you at a complete standstill? No, the truth is that we've been extremely busy, especially with the low interest rates. Just got a guy pre-qualified yesterday at 3.12, which is insane. I'm looking at refinancing my home right now because I can save a couple $100 a month just because the rates are so low. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask me as well. But and other than that, let's go on to the next question. All right, so here's a statement from Showing Time, Michael Lane of Showing Time. Showing Time is the company that tracks the physical showings as well as virtual showings of real estate property all around the world. So Showing Time states, we're seeing innovation coming out of pain as agents have quickly embraced virtual showings to keep their businesses going. More and more virtual showings are scheduled every day throughout our systems, signaling that many markets are responding to this innovation positively. Yeah, so in here at the Clear Sales Group, we're doing similar things. We're doing a lot more emphasis. We're placing a lot more emphasis on the virtual showings, the virtual tours. We're making sure for all of our listings that we do have virtual Matterport tours, not just videos, but tours so that you can see the home, from the safety of your own home as a buyer, and you don't have to walk through that property to realize if you're gonna like it or not. So there are buyers that are buying homes sight unseen, and then there are buyers who are narrowing it down via these virtual tours. Not all listings have them, but we make sure for the Clear Group that all of our listings have those virtual tours so that buyers and sellers are able to buy and sell property safely. The questions that still need to continue to be answered as Texas opens up this week and continues to, over the next couple of weeks, open up more, more than the 25% that we have coming on Thursday, but the 50%, the 70%, the questions that we still have is, will we as people be willing to engage and support businesses that are opening up? And we'll certainly keep you updated on that and what that's looking like. But that'll, of course, affect how we recover as economy and how we get back and used to this new normal that we're going to be dealing with here for the next, 12 to 18 months. So, my goal here is to inspire you guys and to encourage you guys and to also not feed into the fear, but to give you facts and how those facts are playing out. And I think that it's playing out quite well, given the circumstances. And I think that we've been able to see, personally and in our businesses as small business owners, I think that we've been able to see a lot of strength that we have. We've been able to really appreciate the community that we have and the way that we're able to support each other during tough times like these. So I want to encourage you that we are going to come out of this. I know that it seems like, forever since you've seen your friends, forever since you've hugged your friends, but I assure you that we will get back to seeing our friends and hugging our friends. This virus isn't going to last forever, but while we're in it, let's go ahead and make decisions for ourselves and do that critical thinking as what it is that we can do to benefit and skyrocket not our personal lives, not just our personal lives, but our businesses and our careers when we do get out of this. All right, have a good one, y'all. See you in a couple weeks.